live. What's up, everyone? Sup, you fools? Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel. We're going live right here, right now. Probably a little earlier than usual because the show in France, Destination Eurovision, is still technically on, but I'll give everyone time to come in here while we discuss the results. And boy, interesting results, Robert, to say the least.
Yes, so good evening, Europe and the rest of the world. You join us here as we have just found out that Bilal is going to Eurovision this year with his song Wa.
No, thanks to
And
the juries, thanks to the televote.
oh,
That
thanks
was a
to George,
blowout,
yes.
wasn't it? We talked about it before the show. How you pointed out, actually, you wanted like how it always comes down to the televote, right? Like they
Well,
can.
not always, but it quite frequently does. Here, I mean, as you've seen, 150 points. It was pretty much impossible for the juries to have killed any song in this final when one is going to get 150 points from the televote. The jury votes by their very nature. They have to vote for 6 songs. The televoters, they only need to vote for one. And of course, sometimes the vote gets split. The jury does have the deciding say. But tonight, as you've seen, it's the pure power of the televote. The French voters all tied up behind Roy, and it has just walked this national final. And I think it's a bigger margin than even its biggest fans could have hoped for. It has just crushed the opposition.
Yes, 150 points from the televote. Keep in mind, Shimane, surprise, was actually in second place, right? None of the other
Yep.
favorites, Shimane, and she actually had 62 points, I think, that she received. So way less than half the points. So you can
Yep.
definitely say that the French public has spoken. We can have a
Yep.
conversation about this right now, whether or not Bilal's fans have spoken. But if you think about it, can Bilal get this many points only with the fan vote?
That's
I
the
mean, by fan
interesting
vote, I mean
question.
like the die-hard Bilal fans.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible. I will be honest here. This was not my preferred win. I am very happy to hold my hand up and say I was Team Simone, and I'm sad that she is not going to be the French representative this year. But having said that, I mean, just given the margin of votes, unless Bilal has somehow managed to persuade such a large section of the French population to fall behind him compared to anyone else, and all the other people to go at home, it's you just cannot put it down purely to his fans. There are that I mean, you've got to look at other people like Emmanuel. He's a popular French artist, and yet he only comes fourth, and by quite a significant margin, of course, to Bilal. You've got to say that the French public really got behind the song, and it's them that have got that song to Eurovision now. What will be interesting to see is how well the rest of Europe and the other Eurovision countries fall for the song. We've seen before, I'm sure, in the past, where songs have got massive support in a national final from the public or from the juries and then have just fallen completely flat at Eurovision. And I think that this song has really divided the fandom. There are some people that think it's the second coming. It's the most wonderful song Eurovision has ever seen, and there are those that are crying right now.
Yes.
And I'm almost on the verge of tears myself, but it's there are plenty of people who do not feel that this song is a particularly strong one, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of people saying tonight that it is his mega fans, and possibly even there might be accusations going against France 2, because you just have to look at the audience tonight. I mean, the huge amounts of cheers for every mention of his name. There were booing when he got low points in the juries. It was quite clear who the audience wanted to win tonight. And
Yes.
is that possibly just a reflection of how popular he is in France right now, or
That
is
is the
this possibly
question. Yeah.
the favorite?
Yeah. It's very interesting because you point out so many good things here. So number one, it is true. What you said, a lot of people, this is very polarizing, Andrew. A lot of people hate it, but then has this huge fan base in France. And you don't want to be, again, in the center if you rather have a lot of lovers and a lot of haters rather than just a lot of likers.
Yes.
So that in itself is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, the thing that could be we need to talk about, because Bilal only finished in fifth place with the juries. And that is something to be taken into consideration. The juries were not crazy about this one. And
Yes.
there will be juries at Eurovision. And will Bilal have the same kind of impact with the international televoters and the hype that because they don't know who he is? So
No.
what do you think? Do you think that raises some red flags for you?
Yes, it definitely does. The joys of having a national final that tries to follow pretty closely the Eurovision voting system means that you can get a good idea of how a song is going to be at Eurovision. Obviously, the televotes are all from one country in this case, so it's only seeing what France likes. And of course, France are the one country who will not be able to vote for France in the final.
Yes.
But in terms of the jury, yes, it's certainly something that France should be worried about. If they can't get the international support here, maybe it's going to be something that will hit them badly when it comes to Tel Aviv in May.
Yes.
How badly? I don't know. Again, we've only had 10 juries here. I genuinely do not know how many people vote on each jury, if it's just one person or if
I
it's
think it's
only
just
a
one
few.
person, but keep in mind, it's a similar thing in Sweden, Melodifestival. My voice is going away. Melodifestivalen, where they have the international juries, and they tend to be in line with then overall the juries at Eurovision. It's a pretty good indicator. And this could be here the case as well. We don't know for sure, and Bilal still has time, and I think he needs a lot of time to fix the staging and the performance, because I think we both agreed that today's staging and performance was inferior to, not as good, right? I didn't like it.
Yeah. I am not a fan. The whole childhood clips in the background, I feel is a little bit kind of egocentric.
Self-indulgent.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, understandably, the song is about, and I mean, he even says so in the interviews. The song is about everybody. We are all kings and queens, and it's in your dreams, and it's that kind of thing. But he's trying to sell the song as something that is for everybody and should work for everybody. But he's actually making the song very much about him. And I think that contrast is possibly going to be difficult to sell with that current staging. I feel that he needs to get rid of that and go for something that maybe is a bit more inclusive. At the moment, it feels very much like I'm a king, especially when you've got to remember the vast majority of the song is in French and not everybody speaks French. So the staging and how he sings is going to come across a lot. And I don't think he's necessarily going to be able to convey a very inclusive message with the staging that he has at the moment.
Yes. No, that is true. That is true. So at least we can say, though, the French people have spoken. They want Bilal in there. So regardless of the outcome, or whether he wins Eurovision or he finishes dead last in the finals, the French people can say this is who we wanted to see at Eurovision. So we don't care what anybody else thinks. And that is, you can just be happy for them. And Bilal, let's be fair here, he wants to go to Eurovision. He is so excited. He takes it seriously. He takes advice. He listens to people, even the fans. And you got to applaud that, because some people just do this whole thing. So. I'm myself, but he is definitely open to that.
Yeah, and I think that's great, because we want to see, I mean, let's face it, so many people want to go to Eurovision every year, and to have somebody who's a bit like, oh, I'm going to Eurovision, great. You don't want to see that. I want to see somebody who is excited and happy and really, wants to seize the opportunity. And on that front, fantastic. I'm really glad that this is somebody for whom Eurovision means a lot, and he's excited at the prospect. And I'm sure that he's young, but he does give the impression of somebody who listens and understands that he doesn't know everything yet. And hopefully he will be able to take that in. I've seen somebody in the comments, sorry, I didn't catch the name, it's disappeared now, who did say that he listened to the jury, and Deep has just said it again, listen to the jury to make the staging more personal in the final. And that's great. I'm glad to see that. And as I said last week, I didn't see the first semi-final, unfortunately, so I don't know exactly what was said by the jury to him then. But if he is listening to what people are saying and he takes that on board, then fantastic. That's a great start.
He has like all these professionals and the entire team behind him, because now he had his team, now he has like the whole broadcaster. And they're going to have a big LED and there's a big budget to just really make. So they're going to do a lot of changes in France. Now, let's talk about the results. As we said, 150 points, what? But we talked about it. There seems to be a very interesting vote from the Russian jury there. Did you notice that?
Yes.
It was very interesting that the juries from Russia drowned the two favorites, basically Simone and Bilal. in the
got 2
points.
points between them, yes. And interesting that I do have to wonder how often the international juries see this as an opportunity to try and get rid of favourites. You could argue, given the results, that's kind of what happened. The juries overall placed the favourite of the French people fifth. Is this just an attempt to knock down what they see as the strongest song and potentially help their own? I kind of hope so. I hope that that's not what they're doing, because it
You
just feels
hope so?
again.
I
I
certainly
hope that's
hope
not what they're
so.
doing. I hope so, because then when I finally get selected as a juror in one of these national finals, I can kill the song that I think will be in the way of the next UK victory in 2120 or something. But no, in all seriousness, that's not what it's about. And if the international juries are trying to do that, then that's poor.
I don't
And
think that's the case, to be fair. When
no,
you look at it, Simone was not a kind of song that seems weak. It seems like a jury favorite to me. It's just that kind of
yeah,
music that they would gravitate towards. And I just don't think they kind of connected with Roi as much as some of the other ones, the French audience. And
yeah,
that's my biggest concern. It works nationally. Internationally, I don't know where that's going to go.
no.
Some other comments here real quick. So, a big surprise we finished in second place with the televoters, huh?
Yes, that I did not see coming. But I think the performance really stood out tonight. It was the
Shemaine, we're
opening
talking
song.
about La Haute, just in case people didn't know
Yes,
who finished in
no,
second place.
yes, just in case you don't understand Matt's French. And I'm allowed to say that, Matt. But I
Yeah.
think that the performance was really strong tonight, and opening song can, if with a strong performance,
It
grab
sets
the
the
attention
tone,
and
yes.
stay the night. So yeah, I think that it may be a surprise going into the final, but looking back, And the thing is as well, like we're saying, it came second in the televote. We must remember it came second by 1 point over Simone in third. It
Yes.
it was very, very close.
Yes.
So
It was very, very
it's
close.
but yeah, certainly an excellent result, and I'm very happy for her. It was the first time I heard her live tonight, and I thought she did an excellent job, and I enjoyed the song. But
Yes.
yeah,
I
it
completely
was
agree.
good.
I completely agree. That was very interesting. And but were you surprised about the second place with the juries? Siobhan Areg. I know you're not a big fan
Yeah,
of the song.
I have mixed feelings. Yes, the song itself is not too bad, but I really don't like the staging, which possibly puts me the wrong way round with everybody else. Um, but yeah, I think it's a really sweet story. He's a school teacher, and we saw a video of all the school children that he teaches dancing along to his song, and I think that's a really great story. It's nice to see that, unlike certain countries I could name, such as the UK, the French don't just go, who didn't win X Factor the last few years? Oh, let's put them in our national final.
I know, it's really like that. They don't have any diversity in age-wise. Here at Destination Eurovision, they had all kinds of ages. The young ones, the people up
Yeah.
to like 40, like or older. It's great. We need more of
Yeah.
that. Absolutely. By the way, everyone in the chat, if you want to ask questions, make sure both Robert and I will keep an eye out, but you have to put at ESC United so that it will stand out to me. So, any other things that were really as a surprise for you before we go into more questions and details?
I don't think. I think it. I mean, I said before the show I thought Simone was going to win, and I'm not hugely surprised. I'm obviously saddened that she didn't, but Bilal was always going to be the song that was going to beat her if anyone was, and I think that it wasn't overall a surprise in that front. Otherwise, to be dead honest, no. I think it roughly panned out. The songs that I expected to do did not great. The Divas came sixth. I was sad that they couldn't have got higher, but genuinely wasn't expecting any better for them. Possibly Emmanuel not doing as good a reaction.
In the televote, yeah, he dropped to fourth place overall in the televote.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think that it was roughly in line with what people thought.
Yeah. I feel pretty good about my prediction because I said first place for Bilal, second place for Simone, and third place for Emmanuel. He finished in the end in fourth place, but I had Shemaine as my fourth place or fifth place. I don't remember. I have to look it up. But anyway, I got it pretty spot on, at least my. But you did too for the most part, right? Because you had first place. Well, you said Simone is going to win. She
Yeah,
finished
I got
second.
first and second mixed up, and I got third and fourth mixed up, although fourth you'll have to trust me on because I didn't post it publicly.
Okay, that's true. There are a bunch of questions, so let's see what's going on. How do you
Yes.
think Roi will do in Eurovision? ESC Flair is asking. Getting 50 points in jury vote and 150 in televote, popular YouTuber in France. That is my concern because, yes, he won the televote by such a landslide. You cannot argue with that, right?
Yeah.
Social media kids, this age group, they go crazy. They go online, they call, they make sure this person, that's how it works, right? So
Yeah.
they definitely did their job and they got the job done. But I think both Robert and I said earlier that is actually more concerning than anything. Yes, you got him through, but how are you going to do at Eurovision? Yes, they have time to fix a lot of stuff, but is the song strong enough? If the international juries get telling you a little bit, you know what? Maybe not.
Yeah.
I would be a
And I
little
think
worried, but it's you. Go ahead.
it's important to remember as well that the televote is the French public who are literally the people with the least say on how well that song does at Eurovision.
That's true.
So the biggest support he's got is from the most useless people in Eurovision. No offense to the French, you know what I mean. They're not going to help him in the slightest when it comes to the contest unless they all plan on having a quick holiday over to the border to Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Spain, and boost their televotes there. But in all seriousness, they are not the people that are going to, change things. And so it's important to keep that in perspective. He won over the French.
Yes, he won over the French. That is true. And that counts for something. In the end, you want to have a song that you're proud of, not just that's going to do well. Both would be preferred, but, you can only do so much. Little John UK is asking, Russia gave 8 points to Emmanuel, so not a homophobic vote. Why the 2 points for Bilal? No, I agree. I never said it was homophobic. I was just like, it's interesting that the two favorites in the running both either got 0 or 2 points from the Russian jury. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
and
it was a surprise that they got so few points. And in all seriousness, do I think that they were really trying to sabotage them? Not really, to be honest. I don't believe there's any point, but potentially.
Potential, who knows? No, and I don't. It was really not the home. And keep in mind, even like the Russian public, even though politically it's a little bit more, going not the right way that we want to see it. When you saw people like Conchita Wurst performing, the audience will still vote for him, even the Russian audience. So people underestimate sometimes the people inside the country because you don't really see their day-to-day interaction, all that stuff. They usually couldn't give a rat's butt. I'm gonna say the other word. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Okay, Jordan Mitev is asking, do you really think that France will improve the staging? Merci last year had a simple staging and it worked very well for them. Okay, I disagree with that. It didn't work very well for them. They finished, in 18th or 19th place with the televoters? Yeah. Something like that. And then overall, they finished 13th. And this was one of the favorites, potentially a winner. So no, I don't think it worked well for them at all. Now, I'm not saying they're supposed to come in on a big wheel and do like anything with the cowboy and like, woo! But, I think it was, I thought that would be kind of funny. But it just felt empty because most of us, myself included, I don't speak French, so the message got lost. Got that pun? Myself, not myself.
Yes, I think
I worked on this. I rehearsed it. No, and so I honestly think because the message was great with that song, it didn't work. So I don't think the staging worked for Madame Monsieur. And so as far as Roi is concerned, I hope they learned their lesson. And this song requires something more like, I don't want to say like Rise Like a Phoenix, but certainly a little bit more of a grand backdrop. Maybe even like at the very end of the song, a crown sits on top of him rather than him doing the turkey thing or whatever that is. It's just, I think they're going to come up with something a little bit more visually stimulating. What do you think, Robert?
No, I totally agree with you there, Matt. I think that, as I said earlier, they need to make that, if they want to push the everyone's a king, everyone's a queen message, they need to make the staging reflect that. And that's what they need. That's the direction they need to go in. Sometimes simple staging can work. I'm not going to deny that. But I don't think it quite works for this. I want to see a bit more going on. Bilal seems a very, lively personality. He's very emotive. And he's somebody who cares a lot about his song. Reflect that in the staging. Come across a bit more with a bit more light and jazz and pizzazz. I don't want to see, potato quality childhood videos in the background. That doesn't work.
No, it
Sure,
doesn't.
it got him the win tonight. How much because of that, I do not know. I genuinely do not think it helped his cause. Possibly we could have seen a bigger televote margin for him tonight had he not had that. But
Yep.
it doesn't matter. He's got the result he needs. He now needs to go back and have a think about it and see what's up and work out what's the best way to portray this to the Eurovision audience in May.
Yes.
Can I
Absolutely.
also quickly address something? I've seen a few times in the comments, people have been asking about how if the maximum score from the juries was 120, how can he get 150 from the televote? The televote scores are basically the percentage of the total number of points the jury can give to all the songs. So 12 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 times 10, and then the percentage of the televotes they got, it's the percentage of that number. So I haven't done the maths, I will be honest, but however that works out is he got 150 out of the total number of points the juries gave to all the songs.
I think it's
So
420, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's 420 points available in the finals overall.
Yeah.
I think I added up earlier. 420 points. So, and then it's
that
an
means
as
he
percentage.
got 36% of the televote, basically. That's what happened.
Yes, and that's what you
So-
pointed out earlier. Technically, you could get 0 points from the juries, and the televoters can still make it win the whole darn thing, almost.
Yeah, because the most, it's a simple fact that the juries cannot eliminate a song from the running. At the end of the jury votes, any song can win. Any song.
Yes. Mhm.
However many points they've got. It
Dusong
entirely
could have won
comes
this thing if he would have gotten probably the same amount of points as Bilal did, which, of course, it's not. But you know what I
No,
mean.
of course. I mean, it would be ridiculous situations are occasionally required, of course. But it is the televote, in a sense, has more power.
Yes. Okay,
Sorry
next
on the
question.
weather. I know it's 11 p.m. on a Saturday for me as well, but people have asked, so
That's
also a
totally
better answer.
Faith Trickster is asking, I want to know, what do you think of the constant hate Bilal was getting? In particular, someone said Bilal isn't winning. He's a disgrace to the gay community. Listen, I've been doing Eurovision for quite some time. I remember the stuff Conchita was being thrown at when she initially added. She was a disgrace to the gay community and she needs to be banned. It's an embarrassment. And now everyone loves her. And rightfully so. I remember interviewing her and twice, and we just got so many dislikes on the interviews just because it's Conchita. I'm like, you're hurting us. You know, that's not really nice. But it happens every time because people don't understand a certain style. You know, they don't understand the bearded drag queen. Now they don't understand the gay man that is exploring his feminine side and all that stuff. It always happens, and they don't speak for the majority. They don't speak for anyone. They don't speak for the community. They speak for themselves, and that's what you need to keep in mind. And it's so easy to be hateful behind, anonymous name on the screen. So don't take it too hard too much. Trust me, I'm doing this, and I'm like the nicest guy. It's light entertainment, and I get sometimes really hateful comments. So you just gotta brush it off.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Robert. What?
And don't mix up the guy and the music. At the end of the day, like, people have got to be able to separate the artist from the music. At the end of the day, neither Matt nor I were particularly big fans of this song, but he's won. Nothing against the guy himself, and I genuinely hope that he can convey the enthusiasm he clearly has for Eurovision forwards. And people are very welcome to hate the song and dislike it, and that's absolutely fine. No question whatsoever. But just distinguish here, comments like he only won because he's gay. I mean, well, why didn't Emmanuel win then? He's gay too. I mean, come on, guys, seriously.
Oh yeah. That is
true. It's silly comments like that don't really help things. And the song, you have your opinion on it, but I don't think that his sexuality comes into this. So please, as Tabitha Dehaan says, shall we stop the hate? What a good
exactly.
thing.
Don't hate, masturbate. No wait, okay, that's Angie P says, quick question: out of Albania, Spain, and France, which is your favorite act? You go first, Robert.
Oh God, Albania, I think.
Albania.
But, yeah, I'm gonna go Albania for now. But it's early days. It's
it's out of those three, of course, and they're gonna get a revamp with Albania. I think for me, Albania will maybe become my number one right now. I just enjoy Spain. So I'll just say Spain right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I'm saying
You knew you weren't getting France there, Angie P.
Yeah. I don't. Again, it's not the song that I dislike. I'm worried it's going to be that safe space. I like it, and then I just won't vote for it. And I think this could happen to quite a few people. But maybe he's going to blow us away. What do we know?
Possible. No, exactly. I mean, what do we know is something that happened quite a lot. We were watching the jury votes come in together, and the number of predictions that we were like making for who was going to get the points. Yeah, don't trust us, guys.
Don't trust us. No, we know nothing. Okay, so any other thoughts on some? Do you want to address any of the other acts that were tonight? I know you're a big fan of the divas.
Yes, the divas. Oh, well, I mean, what a performance, I have to say. I am really chuffed that they made the final in the first place, and I thought they absolutely slayed. They were never going to win, but I'm really chuffed that they went out, did something that's clearly so close to the heart, and did really, really well. So I'm very chuffed to have seen them, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I'm glad that Emmanuel did well. I was a big fan of his, and that's the beauty about Eurovision. You all need to keep that in mind. Yes, he doesn't get to be on the Eurovision stage, but I discovered him, and I will look up his music, and I'm a new fan now. I love his interpretation, I love his singing, I love his charisma, and I want to know more about his music, and that is probably the best thing that could happen to an artist, minus, of course, going to Eurovision. Although some of them don't even want to go to Eurovision. It's a really weird thing. Keep in mind, guys, if you have any questions, at ESC United so we can see them. What are your thoughts on the Supernova qualifiers? Neither of us have watched it yet, so we don't know. So don't spoil it for us just yet. I can only watch one show at a time. In the past, I watched like 5 shows. I had like 3 monitors up. And you cannot really enjoy it, and it's just too stressful. So I've come to terms with the fact, you know what? I'm not going to touch this until later. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch Latvia later. And I guess the same is for you, right? You haven't watched it either.
Yes, it might be tomorrow, given it is now 11:20 in the evening for some of us, but
not
yes.
for me. It's 3 in the afternoon, so I don't care what you guys. Okay, so are you excited for Romania tomorrow? Diogo Silveira is saying, yes, I am, because tomorrow it's Bella Santiago, and I'm rooting for her for sure. Are you watching tomorrow, or are you busy?
I have full intention of watching tomorrow, but I've decided to give myself the opportunity to take it fresh. So I have not heard any of the songs. I don't even know who is in there. I am going to go in entirely blind, and I will see who is going to be the song that manages to leap out to me, and probably watch them not qualify. But, you know, I'm used to that by now.
I know, that's by now I'm too. So I got called out just a second ago that says nice trousers, Matt. Because I just totally faked it. I'm wearing this nice Batman shirt, but I'm wearing comfy pajamas. I got Angry Bird pajamas on. So I didn't think no one's going to see it, but I'm trying to get comfortable so somebody notice it. So darn it.
You're not going to see my trousers, put it that way. I'm leaving that to people's imaginations.
Yes. So next question. I feel like the hate is just because they feel like this victory was undeserved and the fact that some other act would have done better for France but can't because of his fans. Yeah, but you cannot hate the act for that. You know, every act comes in there to win. And of course, they say, please vote for me, support me tonight. And that's it. It sucks, I think, in the end, because you do want to have the song that does best at Eurovision. But then the non-Bilal fans should have voted as well. So maybe today you can look at it and just accept the fact that this was the song that the majority of French people want to send, or make adjustments to the voting. Think of something like Sweden is doing with the app. Because, you know, something like that could be done. And I think it would make sense, because what if this happens every single year now? You know, you have like this new social media star just beating out everyone regardless of what they're sending. I'm not saying this is the case here, because, you know, I'm sure people love the song, but you get my point.
Yes, very much so. I think it's something that's you've got to consider, is that if an artist is extremely popular in their home country, it's how to translate that popularity abroad. And I think someone mentioned about 5 minutes ago in the chat, sorry for not having brought it up earlier, a country obviously wants to send an artist that they love rather than just someone they think is going to do well at Eurovision. It's a really bad attitude to have. If you're just going to send something because you think it's going to do well, send a good song that your country is like, yeah, this is about our music scene. And France have 100% done that tonight, or so it seems from the televote. 35% of the French public voted for this song. At the end of the day, the non-voters are kind of irrelevant. If you're not going to vote, go away. So it's the French people have spoken. This is their song. This is their choice, and that's what you want from a national selection, really.
Exactly. And you also brought up a very good point here, and I think I brought it up earlier as well because I'm going to give you 80% credit. No, but about in the end, you want to send a song that you are excited about as a country and not just focus on the results. Learn from our mistakes in Germany in 2017 in particular. Remember Levina? Me neither. But the reason why, because she was obviously flopping, and in the national final she had two songs. Like they did the same thing, kind of what they do in the UK. And the first round of voting, the other song that she performed it received way more points, right? Way more points and then all of a sudden the jury's like, you know what? The other one probably is something that people will like and will do better at Eurovision. And then sure enough, all the televoters like lemmings decide, okay, well, let's vote for that. And it won, and that did not work out. Always vote with your heart. Don't overthink it. I think that is...
If there was a genius, perfect formula for a Eurovision winner, don't you think someone would have won multiple times in a row by now?
I know, right?
Because there isn't one. So
that's the beauty about the contest.
Who genuinely would have thought that Salvador was going to win in 2017 in the national final? He was even second in his national final semi-final, and
finished second in the televote in the finals.
Yeah,
even
exactly. Portugal liked him less than Europe. And he won, and it's ridiculous sometimes trying to work out what is going to do well at Eurovision. Who knows? It slowly becomes apparent over months. You cannot work it out for a national final, and as I say, there is no perfect solution, or if there was, then some country would have found it by now and would be bang 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 with the hits and winning, and even Sweden can't claim that. So
okay, let's do two more questions and then we call it a night. ESC fan forever saying, any opinions about Malta X Factor winner? I haven't watched it. I don't even know who won. Don't spoil it for me just yet. I think the same applies to you.
Yes, very much so. Sorry.
Yes. Benoit Chardy, do you think if Bilal will be bottom 5, it's the end of Destination Eurovision? I think it's the last Destination Eurovision if he loses hard. No, I don't think it's going to be the end of Destination Eurovision, but I could see some tweaks with the televotes or something like that, because you can't just throw out the baby with the bathwater. And no. It's a terrible saying, by the way. We should change that. But it is definitely not the right way to go. If something doesn't work once, immediately imagine Sweden would have canceled Melodifestivalen since it didn't qualify in 2010. Oh, Anna Bergendahl didn't qualify, let's cancel Melodifestivalen. No, a little more dramatic, of course, but you get my point. Even if you have the most perfect song selection, there will be times where you flop. Yeah. Look at Russia. Look at Azerbaijan. Look at Romania this year. They all didn't qualify for the very first time. It'll happen. Everyone's going to suck at some point, except for us, Robert and I. We'll always be perfect. But everybody else, they it happens. So I don't think they will nor should scrap it, but maybe adjust it. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I would be gobsmacked, in all honesty, if they decided that this wasn't working. It's not doing terribly. I mean, all right, even if Bilal came last in the final, the UK is almost certainly going to be doing worse than France at the moment, and we seem to still be, sticking with our formula at the moment for the national selection. Formulas can be good, formulas can be bad. They're still formulas. But I do not see that France going away from this method. It seems to be really popular. It works. The show's good. Like, it moves on nicely. They've got a good order. They don't spend forever faffing around like some national selections do.
Like 5 hours of interval acts, They do give a little bit more attention to the acts, so you get to sing your song, then you see a clip, then you sing your full song, then you get the jury stuff, and That's it, though.
The focus is on the songs, which is at the end of the day what a national selection should be about. And I think that they have a reasonably slick they have a reasonably slick selection, and I would be gobsmacked if they walked away from it this year because of a bad winner. I think you're spot on. They will swap around how they do it if this does as badly as some people think it will do. Quite a lot of people seem to think it will do, but we shall see. I would be interested to see how they approach it. As someone's mentioned in there, maybe not inviting big social media presence. I mean, that's it. At the end of the day, the songs that compete in the national selections are the choice of the television broadcasters. They don't have to they don't have to put these people up for people's votes if they don't want to. And so maybe that's the angle they will take. I don't know, but minor changes, not big changes, I think, are what we'd expect next year.
Yes. Then the final question I have to ask you. 2018 France, 2019 France. Which one do you prefer?
Oh, 2018, no question. Like, I'm not the biggest Merci fan, but it's better than this.
So you're going to 2018. I'm torn. I think it's really just, I like them as individuals, people, and artists, but I don't think I like their music. So to me, they're kind of like on the same level. I wasn't crazy about Merci last year. I liked it. I didn't love it. And I feel exactly about Roi right now. I like it. I don't love it. So, and that is the worst place to be. So if I had to choose, I'm going to say Roi, I guess, of Merci. I don't know. It's a wash for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's just not my kind of music, I guess. Anyway, so that's all the time we have. Thank you very much. And people are asking, are there going to be Norway videos? Are there going to be Portugal reaction videos? Yes. I do have a thing called a live. So I'm trying to do as much as possible. I will probably record another one tonight, and it'll be up. But just make sure you subscribe to our channel so you're not going to miss it when it goes up. You'll be back again, Robert, hopefully. I hope you had a good time.
I sure will be. Don't you worry about that.
Okay, I am. I'm really worried. Anyway, so that's it. Everyone, then have a good night, and congratulations, friends, for choosing a song. 3 down, now 39 to go.
Woo! Woo!
Woo, woo, woo! Bye-bye.